Life is not a straight road, it's a winding, bumpy path with potholes big enough to test your patience and sometimes your suspension. But here's the beauty. The hardest days of our lives are not there to break us. They are there to shape us. Imagine a piece of clay in the hands of a sculptor. At first, it's shapeless. It doesn't complain when pressed, stretched, or even beaten with tools. Because deep down, every strike is part of creating a masterpiece. In the same way, life's challenges are shaping us into someone stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. When you go to the gym, you lift weights, and the principle is simple. You don't get stronger by lifting something light. You get stronger when you push against resistance. Hard days are life's gym sessions. They are heavy, they burn, but they make us stronger. Now, here's the interesting thing. On hard days, we often say, "Why me?" But what if we flipped it? What if we asked, "What is this teaching me?" Suddenly, the problem becomes a teacher, and you become a better student of life. History shows that strong people are not born in comfort. They are born in the furnace of trials. Steel is not made in cool shade. It's forged in fire. So instead of wishing for an easy life, maybe we should wish for the strength to face the hard one with courage. And remember, storms don't last forever. The same clouds that bring rain will eventually pass, and the sun will shine again. But after every storm, the trees are greener, and the roots are deeper. In the same way, after a hard season, you'll notice you've grown. So, if you're going through a hard day right now, don't lose hope. You're not being buried, you're being planted, and in time, you will rise stronger with deeper roots and brighter blooms. When we go through a tough time, it's natural to think life is against us. We see the challenge in front of us, and it feels like a wall, tall, thick, unshakable. But what if that wall wasn't there to stop you? What if it was there to make you climb? You see, challenges are not random punishments thrown our way. They are carefully placed opportunities to transform us into people we could never become without them. Think about it. Every strong tree you see has faced storms. The roots didn't grow deep by standing in perfect weather all year round. They grew deep because the winds came, the rains fell, and the seasons tested their endurance. If the roots stayed shallow, the tree would topple with the first storm, but because it went through difficulties, it became stable, grounded, and unshakable. In the same way, life uses challenges to help us grow roots of patience, understanding, wisdom, and resilience. If we only lived in comfort, we would never discover what we're capable of. Comfort zones are like soft couches. They're nice to sit on for a while, but stay too long and you'll forget how to walk. Challenges are life's way of saying, get up, stretch yourself, and grow. There's a story about a young man who found a butterfly struggling to get out of its cocoon. The boy, wanting to help, gently cut the cocoon open so the butterfly could come out easily. But instead of flying, the butter's wings remained weak and shriveled. Why? Because the struggle to break out was necessary for the butterfly to strengthen its wings. Without the challenge, it couldn't fly. Life works the same way. Every struggle you face is strengthening your wings. It's preparing you for heights you can't even see yet. Without that resistance, you wouldn't have the strength to soar when your moment comes. I know, in the middle of the storm, it doesn't feel like growth. It feels like pain. It feels like pressure. But diamonds are made under pressure. Grain is turned into fine flour by grinding. Raw gold is purified in fire. The process is rarely pleasant, but the result is always worth it. So, when a challenge comes your way, instead of seeing it as a sign that you are failing, see it as an invitation to grow. Life isn't trying to destroy you. It's trying to develop you. It's shaping you into someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who can inspire others by saying, I've been there and I made it through. Every difficult season you've survived so far has left you with something. Maybe strength, maybe empathy, maybe courage you didn't have before. These are the gifts that challenge bring, even if they're wrapped in discomfort. The next time life places a mountain in your path, don't just ask for it to be moved. Ask for the strength to climb it. Because when you reach the top, you'll look back and realize the climb wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to make you. When you watch a sculptor at work, it's a fascinating sight. They start with nothing more than a rough block of stone, solid, unshaped, even unattractive at first glance. But in their mind, they already see the masterpiece hidden inside. To everyone else, it's just a rock. To the sculptor, it's potential. The sculptor doesn't treat that stone gently. They don't polish it first or wrap it in silk. They take a hammer and a chisel, and with each strike, tap, 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 they remove what doesn't belong. Sometimes they strike hard, and pieces fall away in chunks. Sometimes the blows are softer, more precise, removing the teeniest imperfections. But whether light or heavy, each strike serves a purpose: to reveal the beauty within. Life works the same way. We are all like unshaped stones in the beginning, full of potential, but not yet the best version of ourselves. We have rough edges, impatience, fear, pride, doubt. And life, being the greatest sculptor, uses challenges as its hammer and chisel. The moments you've been hurt, disappointed, or faced setbacks, those were the taps and strikes. They may have felt painful at the time, but they were shaping you. That heartbreak may have carved away arrogance, replacing it with humility. That failure might have chipped off overconfidence, replacing it with wisdom. That betrayal could have removed naivety, replacing it with discernment. The sculptor never strikes without vision. They don't hit the stone randomly. Every strike is guided by the image they see in their mind. In the same way, life doesn't send trials without purpose. Even if we can't see it, there is something valuable being formed within us. Sometimes the shaping is intense, a season where it feels like blow after blow is coming, and you wonder, why so much at once? But if you've ever seen a sculpture take form, you know the roughest shaping happens at the beginning. Once the basic form is clear, the strikes become gentler, refining the details. And that's what life does. In your early challenges, you might feel broken in big ways. But as you grow stronger, the strikes feel different. They become more about fine-tuning your character than breaking away large pieces. There's a famous statue, Michelangelo's David, considered one of the greatest works of art in history. When asked how he created it, Michelangelo is believed to have said, "I just removed everything that wasn't David." Life is doing the same with you. It is removing everything that is not the best version of you. So, the next time you feel life's chisel striking, remember, you are not being destroyed, you are being revealed. The masterpiece is already within you. The challenges are just removing the excess so the world can see it. If you've ever stepped into a gym, you know the basic principle of building strength, resistance. You lift weights, you push against something heavy, you do movements that, quite frankly, don't feel comfortable. The muscles itch, your body sweats, and sometimes you wonder, why am I doing this to myself? But over time, something amazing happens. You get stronger. The very weight that once felt impossible becomes part of your warm-up. Life works in exactly the same way, except the weights aren't made of metal. They're made of challenges. Instead of dumbbells, you're lifting emotional burdens. Instead of barbells, you're pushing through difficult situations. And just like in the gym, the resistance feels uncomfortable, sometimes even painful, but it's building something within you that comfort never could. Think about a person who has never faced a setback. The moment life throws even a small difficulty at them, they feel overwhelmed. That's because their mental muscles haven't been trained. Just as a person who never exercises can't suddenly lift a heavy weight. A person who never faces hardship struggles to carry the weight of life's problems. But when you face challenges regularly, when life gives you resistance, you start to build resilience. The first time you deal with rejection, it hurts deeply. The second time, you still feel it, but you recover faster. By the 10th time, you've developed enough emotional strength to move forward without losing your balance. There's a story of a man who went to the gym for the first time. He saw people lifting heavy weights and thought, I'll just do something light today. He spent the whole session lifting a very small dumbbell, never pushing himself. After weeks of doing the same, he wondered why he wasn't getting stronger. The trainer told him, strength comes from resistance. If it's easy, you're not growing. Life is the same way. If we only ever take the easy path, we stay exactly where we are. It's when we face resistance, the difficult boss, the financial struggle, the health setback, the relationship challenge, that we build our mental and emotional muscles. And here's the interesting part. In the gym, the muscle fibers actually tear a little when you lift heavy weights. That's why you feel sore. But when the body repairs those fibers, they grow back stronger than before. In life, emotional challenges work the same way. Yes, they might hurt you in the moment. Yes, they might leave you sore for a while. But when you heal, you're stronger than before. The resistance you face today may feel heavy, but it's preparing you for something heavier tomorrow. If you can carry it now, you'll be ready for the bigger opportunities and responsibilities that life will bring. Without resistance, we remain weak. With it, we develop the strength to face anything. So, just like in the gym, don't shy away from life's resistance. Embrace it, push against it, and let it make you stronger. Because one day, you'll look back and realize the weight you once thought would crush you became the very thing that built you. When something goes wrong in our lives, our first reaction is often emotional. We ask, why me? And I understand why. It's a very human question. Pain makes us feel singled out, as if life has somehow picked us for an unfair punishment. But here's the thing, asking, why me? Keeps us stuck. It focuses all our attention on the problem, not the solution. If we can shift that question, even slightly, everything changes. Instead of, why me? Try asking, what is this teaching me? This small shift is powerful because it turns pain into a classroom, challenges into lessons, and setbacks into stepping stones. There's a story of a farmer whose horse ran away. His neighbors came and said, "Oh no, this is terrible." The farmer simply said, "Maybe." A few days later, the horse returned, bringing with it several wild horses. The neighbors now said, "Wow, this is wonderful." The farmer again said, "Maybe." Later, the farmer's son tried to ride one of the wild horses, fell, and broke his leg. The neighbors cried, "That's awful." The farmer replied, "Maybe." Soon after, soldiers came to the village to take young men to war, but the farmer's son was spared because of his broken leg. The moral is clear. We can't always judge events by how they first appear. Every situation has layers, and sometimes what feels like a setback is actually preparing us for something better. When we ask, why me? We stay in the role of the victim. We see life as something happening to us. But when we ask, what is this teaching me? We step into the role of a student. We see life as something happening for us, to help us grow, to make us wiser, to prepare us for the road ahead. Think of a school exam. If you fail and only ask, "Why did the teacher give me such a hard test?" you won't improve. But if you ask, "What do I need to study better for next time?" you'll grow. Life's hardships are tests too. And the questions we ask determine whether we learn from them or repeat them. Shifting the question doesn't make the pain disappear. It doesn't erase the difficulty, but it changes your perspective, and perspective is the lens that shapes your reality. The same rain that ruins a picnic is the rain that feeds the crops. The event is the same. The meaning you assign to it changes everything. I've met people who went through intense hardships, loss, failure, betrayal, and came out not bitter, but better. They didn't deny the pain. They simply looked for the lesson in it. Some learned patience, others learned forgiveness. Some learned self-reliance, and some discovered strengths they never knew they had. So, the next time life throws a challenge your way, catch yourself before asking, "Why me?" Pause, and instead ask, "What is this here to teach me?" You'll be surprised how quickly your mind starts looking for the gift hidden inside the struggle. And once you find that gift, no challenge is ever wasted. If you've ever seen steel being made, it's an unforgettable sight. It doesn't start strong. In its raw form, it's just metal, soft, shapeless, and not ready for much. But when you place it in the fire, everything changes. The heat rises to unbearable levels, the metal glows, and under the blacksmith's hammer, it's beaten, bent, and shaped. Blow after blow, the steel becomes something far more powerful than it was before. Life forges people in the same way. No one becomes strong in a life of perfect ease. Strength is not born in comfort. It is born in the furnace of adversity. Just like steel cannot become steel without fire, we cannot become truly strong without facing the heat of life's trials. Think of the heroes you admire, leaders, pioneers, survivors. If you look closely at their stories, you'll find hardship at their core. They didn't become strong because life was gentle with them. They became strong because they faced moments that would have broken others. They walked through fire and came out not burned, but refined. Fire is uncomfortable. It is intense. It feels like too much to handle. And when we're in it, we wish we could escape. But the fire has a purpose. In the same way the forge burns away impurities, in steel, life's hardships burn away what weakens us: fear, ego, overconfidence, impatience. What remains is resilience, courage, and character. There's a famous Japanese practice called kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with gold. The cracks are not hidden. They are filled with something even more precious, making the pottery stronger and more beautiful than before. Hardships work the same way. They may crack us for a moment, But what we gain in wisdom, strength, and compassion makes us more valuable than before. When you're in the fire, it's easy to think, this is too much. I can't handle it. But just as the steel in the forge doesn't realize what it's becoming, you may not realize how strong you're becoming. It's only after you've walked through the flames and cooled down that you can look back and see. The fire didn't destroy you, it transformed you. And here's something to remember. Steel that has never faced the forge cannot handle pressure. It will bend or break at the first sign of strain. But steel that's been through fire, shaped with purpose, and cooled with care can withstand incredible force. That's you after a season of hardship. You are forged for strength you didn't even know you had. So when life feels like it's turning up the heat, when every day feels like a trial, know this: you are in the forge, and the stronger the fire, the greater the strength you'll carry out of it. Comfort is pleasant, no one denies that. A soft bed after a long day, a warm meal on a cold evening, a familiar routine that requires little thought. These things make life feel safe, but while comfort may soothe the ears, it doesn't stretch us. It doesn't teach us how to endure, how to push, or how to adapt when things go wrong. Resilience, that deep, unshakable strength of spirit, is built in places where comfort doesn't exist. It's born in uncertainty, in moments when you're forced to stand up after being knocked down, in seasons when the easy path isn't available and the only option is to keep going. Think about it too. If a child is never allowed to fall while learning to walk, they will never learn balance. If a student is only given easy questions, they will never sharpen their thinking. If a seed is never planted deep into the soil, away from sunlight, it will never grow strong roots. Comfort is like still water, peaceful, but stagnant. Challenges are like running water, turbulent, but full of life and movement. A person who lives only in comfort may feel safe, but when life inevitably throws an unexpected storm, they find themselves unprepared. There's a story of two plants grown in different environments. One was kept inside a greenhouse, sheltered from wind, rain, and extreme temperatures. The other was planted outside, exposed to all the elements. In the greenhouse, the plant grew tall quickly, but its stem was weak, its roots shallow. Outside, the plant grew slower, but its roots dug deep into the soil, and its stem grew strong enough to withstand harsh winds. When a storm came, the greenhouse plant snapped. The outdoor plant swayed but stood firm. We are the same. When we face life's storms, failure, rejection, loss, unexpected change, our inner roots deeper. We learn flexibility, patience, problem solving, and emotional endurance. None of these qualities come from staying in a zone where nothing ever tests us. Comfort feels good, but growth often feels uncomfortable. It's in the uncomfortable spaces where we question ourselves, adapt to new realities, and discover strength we didn't know we had. You may not realize it while you're in it, but every moment you endure something hard, you are building a mental and emotional muscle that will serve you for the rest of your life. It's important to enjoy moments of comfort. They recharge us, but it's equally important to step out of them regularly, seek challenges, try something new, take a path that isn't certain. And when life hands you a challenge you didn't ask for, remember that you're being given an opportunity to grow roots deeper than you ever thought possible. Because in the end, resilience is not the ability to avoid challenges. It's the ability to face them and still stand tall. And no matter how pleasant comfort feels, it will never teach you that. Comfort is pleasant, no one denies that. A soft bed after a long day, a warm meal on a cold evening, a familiar routine that requires little thought. These things make life feel safe, but while comfort may soothe the ears, it doesn't stretch us. It doesn't teach us how to endure, how to push, or how to adapt when things go wrong. Resilience, that deep, unshakable strength of spirit, is built in places where comfort doesn't exist. It's born in uncertainty, in moments when you're forced to stand up after being knocked down, in seasons when the easy path isn't available and the only option is to keep going. Think about it too. If a child is never allowed to fall while learning to walk, they will never learn balance. If a student is only given easy questions, they will never sharpen their thinking. If a seed is never planted deep into the soil, away from sunlight, it will never grow strong roots. Comfort is like still water, peaceful, but stagnant. Challenges are like running water, turbulent, but full of life and movement. A person who lives only in comfort may feel safe, but when life inevitably throws an unexpected storm, they find themselves unprepared. There's a story of two plants grown in different environments. One was kept inside a greenhouse, sheltered from wind, rain, and extreme temperatures. The other was planted outside, exposed to all the elements. In the greenhouse, the plant grew tall quickly, but its stem was weak, its roots shallow. Outside, the plant grew slower, but its roots dug deep into the soil, and its stem grew strong enough to withstand harsh winds. When a storm came, the greenhouse plant snapped. The outdoor plant swayed but stood firm. We are the same. When we face life's storms, failure, rejection, loss, unexpected change, our inner roots deeper. We learn flexibility, patience, problem solving, and emotional endurance. None of these qualities come from staying in a zone where nothing ever tests us. Comfort feels good, but growth often feels uncomfortable. It's in the uncomfortable spaces where we question ourselves, adapt to new realities, and discover strength we didn't know we had. You may not realize it while you're in it, But every moment you endure something hard, you are building a mental and emotional muscle that will serve you for the rest of your life. It's important to enjoy moments of comfort. They recharge us, but it's equally important to step out of them regularly, seek challenges, try something new, take a path that isn't certain. And when life hands you a challenge you didn't ask for, remember that you're being given an opportunity to grow roots deeper than you ever thought possible. Because in the end, resilience is not the ability to avoid challenges. It's the ability to face them and still stand tall. And no matter how pleasant comfort feels, it will never teach you that. When we're in the middle of a hard day, it's difficult to see it as anything but a burden. The problems feel heavy, the hours feel long, and all we want is for the day to end. But hidden beneath the surface of every tough day is something valuable, a lesson, an insight, an experience that, when uncovered, adds richness to our life story. Life is a storyteller, and every great story has moments of conflict. Without challenges, our personal story would be flat and forgettable. It's the trials we face and overcome that make our journey worth telling, not just to others, but to ourselves. Think back to a time when you went through something difficult. Maybe it was a job you lost, a relationship that ended, a goal that seemed to slip out of reach. At the time, it felt like failure. But now, looking back, you can probably see that you walked away with something you didn't have before. Perhaps a new skill, a fresh perspective, or a clearer understanding of what really matters. There's a story of a man who got lost in the desert. After hours of walking, thirsty and exhausted, he came across an old water pump. Attached to it was a noti. This pump works, but you have to prime it first. There's a bottle of water buried nearby. Use it to get the flow started, and then refill the bottle for the next traveler. But the man was faced with a choice. He could drink the bottle and quench his immediate thirst, or trust the note, use the water to prime the pump, and possibly get an endless supply. In the moment, the safer choice seemed to drink it. But he took the risk, poured the water into the pump, and after a few pumps, fresh, cool water gushed out. He refilled the bottle, drank deeply, and left a note of his own. It works. Trust it. Life's lessons are a lot like that pump. At first, all you see is the struggle, the thirst, the heat, the uncertainty. But if you trust the process and learn from it, you gain something that keeps serving you long after the hard day ends. The lesson might not be obvious right away. Sometimes it takes months or even years to realize what a particular challenge taught you. Maybe it made you more patient. Maybe it taught you how to handle pressure. Maybe it showed you who your real friends are. These lessons are the treasures hidden inside the struggle. And once you find them, no one can take them away from you. And here's the beautiful part. Every time you uncover a lesson from a hard day, it doesn't just help you, it helps you help others. You become the person who can say, I've been through this, and here's what I learned. Your story becomes a map for someone else who is lost. So, when life hands you a hard day, don't just endure it, mine it. Dig for the lesson, because those hidden gems you uncover will be the very things that make your life story not just one of survival, but one of meaning. When a storm hits, it can feel endless. The sky turns dark, the wind howls, and the rain pours so hard you can barely see a few steps ahead. In that moment, it's easy to believe the sun might never return. But no storm in history has ever lasted forever. Eventually, the clouds break, the winds quiet, and the world feels new again. Life storms, the challenges, the heartbreaks, the setbacks, work the same way. In the middle of them, everything feels uncertain. You can't predict the outcome. You can't see the end. And yet, no matter how fierce they are, storms pass. They always pass. There's a story of a small bird caught in a violent storm. The wind tossed it in every direction, and it fought desperately just to stay in the air. Then, suddenly, it stopped fighting against the wind and began to glide with it, letting the currents carry it upward. To its surprise, the bird rose higher and higher until it broke through the storm clouds into calm, bright skies. The storm was still raging below, but above it, there was peace. Life storms often push us in directions we didn't plan to go. But if we can adjust and rise with them, instead of resisting with fear, they can actually lift us higher than we imagined. Sometimes the very storm that feels like it's destroying us is actually delivering us to a place we couldn't reach on our own. And when storms end, they leave something behind. After heavy rains, the air smells fresher, rivers run fuller, plants grow greener. In the same way, after going through a difficult season, we often find ourselves stronger, clearer in purpose, and more appreciative of life. We learn who stood by us, what truly matters, and how capable we really are. It's important to remember that resilience isn't built when the skies are clear. It's built when the winds are strongest. You discover your courage when you're afraid, but move forward anyway. You discover your strength when you keep going despite feeling like you can't take another step. I once heard someone say, the same rain that drowns one person waters another's crops. The storm itself isn't good or bad. It's what you do during it that determines the outcome. Some people let the storm bury them in fear. Others use it to grow. When you're in the middle of life's storm, you don't have to pretend it's easy. You don't have to act like it doesn't hurt. But you can hold on to the truth that it won't last forever. And when it passes, because it will, you will be different, stronger, wiser, more grateful for the sunshine because you felt the rain. So, the next time the skies darken over your life, remember, this is temporary. And when it clears, and God, you'll not only have survived, you'll have grown in ways you couldn't have without the storm. A tree's beauty is easy to see: the leaves, the flowers, the fruit. But its true strength lies in something hidden beneath the ground, its roots. Those roots are what keep it standing when the winds blow and the storms rage. And here's the thing: roots don't grow deep when the weather is always calm. They grow deep when the wind is strong, when the soil is dry, and when the tree must reach far down for water and stability. We are no different. Roots are the values, beliefs, resilience, and inner strength that keep us grounded through life's challenges. And just like a tree, our roots deepen most during the hard seasons. Think about it. When life is comfortable, we often stay near the surface. We don't need to dig deep for patience, faith, or endurance. But when a hard day comes, we are forced to go beneath the surface. We find strengths we didn't know we had. We discover beliefs that carry us through. We develop a steadiness that can't be shaken easily. There's a story about two trees planted side by side. One was watered daily and shielded from harsh winds. The other was left to face the elements, sometimes going days without water, swaying in heavy winds. Over time, the first tree grew quickly but had shallow roots. The second tree grew slower, but its roots dug deep into the earth. One day, a powerful storm came. The first tree toppled, the second stood firm. The difference wasn't what could be seen above ground, it was what had been built below it. Hard days are nature's way of pushing our roots deeper. When life feels uncertain, we learn to anchor ourselves in something stronger than circumstances, whether that's faith, purpose, discipline, or hope. When resources feel scarce, we learn to draw from deeper wells of creativity and determination. When people disappoint us, we grow roots of self-reliance and discernment. The beauty of deep roots is that they don't just help you survive one storm, they prepare you for every storm that will come after. A person with deep roots doesn't crumble at the first sign of trouble. They bend, they sway, but they don't break. And here's something worth noticing: roots grow in the dark. No one sees them forming. People might look at you and have no idea how much strength you've been building quietly beneath the surface. But when the winds come, it shows. You remain standing while others wonder how you didn't fall. So the next time you face a hard day, instead of only looking at what's happening above the surface, the visible problems and discomforts, remember that something important is happening below the surface. You're growing roots. You're becoming grounded in ways that will hold you steady for years to come. Deep roots take time to form, but once they're there, you can face any season. Drought, storm, or sunshine with confidence. because no matter what comes, you won't be easily moved.